is a pain in the butt. You hit your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. 'Cause now you're listening to The Rough Cut.
Hello and welcome back to the Rough Cut Golf Podcast. Jacob, did you know that this is episode 176?
I didn't, but now I do.
Well, that's good information. And now, I played a round of golf on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure, maybe they're watching this, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure one of the guys shot 176.
Oof. I saw a clip the other day, and there were people having debate over when does golf actually turn from being like fun to stressful again? Because I think when you first start and you're really struggling, obviously some people, there is a hook and addiction to it, but some people, I think, as I would, if you couldn't get the ball off the ground, find it so annoying.
That's so frustrating.
Then there's like a period of when you're doing that kind of like trying to break 90, trying to break 80 kind of period, where I think we're kind of most guys are in now, where I do think it is enjoyable. Like, don't get me wrong, hell of a frustrating game.
Yeah.
But then when you're like really good, and like you're trying to break par every week, does it go back to just being annoying again?
Well, I think because
you're good, you know you can do it.
But I think that's the most annoying bit, is that when you're really good and you do something that's not really good, you're like, oh, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in the 80s and 90s and you're like, oh, I make a crap shot, you're like, oh yeah, I do sometimes make crap shots. So that does make sense. I saw someone say that the most fun bit is trying to break 100 and then trying to break 90.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like you actually have to work really hard.
Because you are semi-decent.
Yeah, and then after that, it's like there's expectation.
Yeah.
And like suddenly you have to actually be as good as you say you are and as good as your handicap says you are. But yes, I played golf on Saturday with two new-ish golfers, Tom and Ethan. And they were struggling. There was a little bit of struggle to the point where about hole 12, they both ran out of balls.
Okay.
Yeah.
But hey, we were all there once. You got to start somewhere.
Exactly. That was it. I was.
I'm sure Pete was there once, but he's not here right now.
No, he's not. He's. They are on Long Island.
Yeah. Which we will be throwing to you guys shortly. Sam, Kieran, and Pete are still in the States.
It's been definitely more than a week. Because we've done two of these now.
they've had a busy trip. They've had open qualifying. There's a couple of pretty serious golf courses that they've filmed at over the last couple of days, which will be coming to the main channel very soon. I mean, like I say,
they're coming home tomorrow.
They fly tonight, but they get back tomorrow at 8 in the morning or something. So.
And then me and Kieran on Sunday have our round 1 Creator Golf Club match.
Oh, nice.
So if you're playing in the Creator Golf Club tournament, you may find someone from the Rough Cut team in your bracket. But yeah, me and Kieran playing our first match on Sunday. So that should be exciting. They're coming back, and then they'll all be in the new office. We're in the new office. We sat and worked down there
Not
today.
the new podcast studio, obviously.
No, the podcast studio is not ready. But we're in the new office. So yeah, when they come back, lots of stuff kicking off for the first time. Eventually, there's going to be a new podcast studio as well.
Yes.
But not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I'll tell you one thing that hasn't changed, though.
Okay.
And that is NordVPN being a sponsor of this podcast.
They are so consistent and so solid. How do they do it?
Yeah, how do they do it with us?
They're here every single week. They stick around even when we're terrible at this job.
Well, the one thing I was thinking over the weekend was I would hate the fact that Pete, Sam and Kieran could not have used their NordVPN.
I know what you're going to say.
To put themselves back in this country to be able to access a sports website streaming software platform to watch Ipswich Town get promoted back to the Premier League.
Up the switch.
Up the switch.
Yes, I even was keeping one eye on it.
As you should.
On Sunday
when
it was happening. But yes, imagine being away somewhere and not having access to all the coverage that you want in the country that you want. That's not something that we have to deal with.
Hey, look, we're getting into the nicer sort of time of the year now. People are going to go away on holidays, especially next week. PGA Championship, second major of the year. If you want to watch it...
Oh my God, it's next week.
It's next week. And I would hate for anyone who's going away next week and not be able to watch it.
Yeah, because
but they can with a NordVPN.
Yeah, so get NordVPN. What you do is you basically log in. You tell it which country you want it to think you're in. So I will I will sometimes go London.
Okay.
If I'm away, I'll sometimes go Portugal if I'm trying to get flights that are super cheap. So you tell it where you want to be, and then you get access to all of the content from that place.
Yes.
The other time that this is useful, Jacob, is when you're traveling and you want to catch up on something on Netflix.
Yeah.
and it is not available because Netflix is different in every country.
It
You
is.
didn't know
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
You go to Germany and you're like, what the hell are all of these?
I was watching that thing that was on the England one, and it's not there anymore.
Not there. So then you tell NordVPN, I want to be back in England.
Yep.
It puts you back in England, and then it's available.
Perfect.
All of this is available, Jacob, for a very, very reasonable fee. The price of basically a cup of coffee or a sleeve of balls. That's got you covered.
Right.
You're traveling the virtual internet. You're doing it while protected. You're super, super safe. No one can steal any of your data, any of your information, and it's super, super affordable. NordVPN are the best. They've been sponsoring the podcast for a very long time. We love them. We use it every single day. You should be using it every single day. And they're great. They're the best, and we love them.
And if the lovely people listening wanted to get an exclusive offer, where would they go and find that?
They would go to www.nordvpn.com/roughcut. And the offer is thus. If you buy a 2-year plan, which, just makes sense, you're going to need it. When you start using it, you'll be like, how did I live without this? You buy a 2-year plan and you'll get 4 months for free.
Perfect.
Which is excellent, which is the golf season.
Who doesn't, yeah.
All the majors will be on.
Who doesn't like free stuff,
exactly. Okay, so nordvpn.com/roughcut. All the information is in the description, in the podcast description as well. Down below the video, wherever you're watching this, go and click on it. Get your NordVPN subscription sorted. They're the best. Very useful for when you're traveling. People who are traveling, Peter Finch. Let's go and hear them talk about the downfall of LIV Golf.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's all gone pear-shaped.
It's on there, isn't it?
I just want to say also thank you to everyone who has been leaving comments, joining the membership program, doing all of the stuff that helps us do this every single day. Lots of comments on the Ian Poulter podcast.
Okay.
2 weeks later about how out of date the information was. This was when we filmed it, everything was hunky-dory and LIV was going to be great, and then it's all changed. So let's go and hear Pete and Kieran and Sam talk about the future of golf in the professional world.
Hey everybody, welcome now to the Rough Cut Golf Podcast. We have myself, we have Sam, we have Kieran. We are currently in the United States of America on the beautiful Long Island. Well, from what I've seen, it looks absolutely fine. Admittedly, all I've seen so far is a long straight road and a Hyatt Regency hotel. But apart from that, I'm sure it's absolutely fantastic.
Not sponsored by Hyatt Regency Hotels.
Although Hyatt, if you are looking to sponsor a YouTube podcast channel, we are open to that. Because this couch is very comfortable. Anyway. Sorry if you're watching Marriott and you were poised, just ready to go. We are about to go play Shinnecock Hills, which is the site of the US Open this year. Very much looking forward to that, but we thought prior to going to play, we would film this podcast because we have, well, the world of golf has been not exactly rocked, but I would say like nudged off balance, maybe shaken. We'll just always just say
shaken is a good
We'll
word.
say shaken.
Yeah,
It's
shaken
been
is a
shaken
good
because it's been shaken over the past 4 years now.
Continuously shaken.
It's been continuously shaken. It's like a low tremor earthquake, which has continued to be going on in men's golf for the past 4 years. LIV Golf, the breakaway tour, is, by the looks of it, going to be coming to an end at the end of this year. It should be said, before we delve in too much to the downfall of LIV, that it is not a case that it has been said definitively that at the end of this year, LIV Golf is going to be no more. It's going to be gone. It's going to be completely gone. That is because it does exist as a separate entity. But as we all know, if you don't know, it does derive pretty much all of its investment from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. And they have indicated, they have said that at the end of the 2026 season, they're going to pull that funding. So unless somebody comes in to buy LIV, unless somebody comes in to continually invest within that tour, we can be pretty safe in assuming that it will be gone at the end of 2026. I suppose we should look at today the good and the bad, what we think this actually means for kind of men's professional golf overall, and then probably talk about some of the players that are on LIV at the moment, what their future holds, because it has been a pretty chaotic start to the year with some players leaving. The PGA Tour, for example, offering a way back, which has now passed. So there are a lot. There is a lot to get through. Just to set the scene, so inception, LIV has taken £5 billion of funding from the PIF, and pretty much all of that has been gone. Like the return on investment there has been negligible. Like the tour isn't a self-sustaining entity.
Oh, less than negligible. Lost money.
It's lost money. So it's lost money every year at $500 to $600 million, and it's never really managed to generate any substantial kind of media rights. It has had a couple of really well-attended events this year, but realistically, from people attending the event, it's never kind of generated too much commercial success that way. The governor of the kind of tour, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, he is stepping down. So he was really the driver from the Public Investment Fund side. And obviously there's been chaos this year with events being cancelled and players leaving. So that's setting the season. It's not a great surprise. It's not a great surprise. I think I was asked the question maybe a few months ago, like what's going to be gone first, either TGL or LIV. And I'm pretty sure I did say LIV. So I think.
How does TGL make any money?
It's
pretty simple, really, as a concept.
The thing with TGL compared to LIV is obviously it's a much more of an enclosed entity. It's in a stadium. It's in one place, and they were able to sell the TV rights pretty much automatically because it's a made-for-TV product, and the tie-ins with the tour and the players,
the people you're getting on there as well, with Tiger and
They didn't have to pay everyone hundreds of millions of pounds to get involved.
Yeah. I mean, it's not cheap to get the players involved, and they are getting paid a lot of money to play, and if they win, especially. But essentially, it was costed, it was funded, and it could. There's a way that you can present that as a business plan and say, okay, this is what is going to happen. LIV stands out, and it is different because it was solely funded by one entity. Now, that one entity, admittedly, pretty much has unlimited money for all intents and purposes.
Clearly not.
But at some point, even if you have an unlimited amount of something, I am, what's the word? Exaggerating a little bit. The money will run out eventually, but essentially $5 billion to the.
No one else would have been able to do this.
Let's put it that $5 billion to the Public Investment Fund actually isn't a lot of money, which sounds mental, but it is true.
But what, it's taken them 4 years, and they've finally gone. Well, we're just chucking money in the toilet here.
Essentially, any fund, any investment fund in any walk of life is going to have a team of accountants behind it, and at one point, someone is going to say, "Why?
What are we doing here?
Why are we doing this? Like, what is the end goal here? Because maybe if this year, LIV would have secured it did secure some TV rights, but if it could show and if it could say, okay, the future of this tour is really bright. We've secured our players. We've got great fields. We've got great fans attending every single event. People are really engaged. And in 10 years, we can actually see this growing to be the biggest golf tour or the second biggest golf tour, on the planet. And they weren't able to show that. And so the Public Investment Fund, who have other major sporting projects coming up, other things happening like the Expo and the World Expo and the FIFA World Cup, they have to invest their money somewhere. And I think they've chosen now to say, well, we're going to invest it in other places.
I think the one of the biggest things that it couldn't shake, obviously it's lost a lot of money, but in comparison to a lot of the other things that you get involved in, i.e. the boxing, Newcastle, all that kind of stuff, they just couldn't seem to shake the negativity around it, which I think has probably impacted the ability to get investors and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's been going for 4 years, and it's still being talked about as a negative to go over there and a negative to be involved, and the links to the Saudis, all that. I imagine they expected that to calm at some stage, but it just doesn't seem to have, and that's probably the biggest reason why they can't get it going properly.
Yeah, I think actually maybe over the last season and a half, I did feel potentially that the narrative around it has changed. I'm looking at it from a very kind of centre neutral point of view, just trying to judge it on what it is, as far as from a sporting perspective, and just take the background out of it, which is almost impossible.
You can't
to do
that. I don't think
it's almost impossible to do. But just from a centre sporting event spectacle, it just didn't deliver, which is ultimately why it's not going to be carrying on.
Well, they would have probably set out kind of, as any business would, a business plan of what a 5-year structure looks for them. And I'd be very interested to see if that did happen. I'd be very interested to see where they thought they would be at. They probably thought that they'd be, with the world ranking, that was probably one of their biggest goals straight away. You know, obviously to get these big players in, big names, to get, you know, this tour to be as credible as it can be. And yeah, the thing that I think it always struggled with, the fact that it had all the stuff behind it, with obviously what you've just said there, but also just the fact that as a actual creditable golf tour, it actually didn't have that, and it's only just got that, and it's only just kind of, it's got a very minimalist thing of it. And we don't know where that's going to be in the next. Yeah, well, obviously it's not going to be.
I mean, it got it in some description, but it got it in the same way that the Saudi Pro League got it, in as far as like it had a thin layer at the top of like world class talent, and then a drop off that was so severe you could, you know, it was 100-foot drop to get to the rest of the field.
I'm just saying that, like, I think they wanted it to be.
Yeah, they wanted it to be like the PGA Tour and
more
deep like that. But,
yeah, so
like they didn't really get that. I agree with you. They didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
It was all on the face of it. It's like, oh yeah, we got John Rahm, we got Bryson, but then like you've also got like name a.
Well, yeah, I mean the actual number of players that have gone to LIV that you've just kind of forgotten about. Like, you forgot who went there. You know, my man, the Moronk.
Yeah, the Moronk. Yeah,
like, you've kind of just forgotten about Adrian.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other problem. Like, so many people went over there that had fairly promising careers that just disappeared and didn't do anything.
And also, it does come down to, and you know, a large part of why LIV, you know, probably won't be carrying on, and why all the players are going to be leaving and going elsewhere. You know, it is down essentially to the money. And, you know, to get these players onto the tour, LIV had to pay exceptionally large amounts of money, unheard of amounts of money, from the world of golf to secure the rights for them to play in the LIV Golf Tour. Now, there was a huge fallout after that happened when players went, you know, from the tours. And, you know, we're not going to delve into, because that's probably a 3-podcast special to kind of document all the chaos that happened when LIV came out and started signing players. But what they did is they essentially guaranteed cash for pro golfers to come play on LIV for mostly kind of 3 to 4 year deals, some 2-year deals as well. And when they did that, there was a certain feeling, and I know from people in the industry who've gone to LIV events and who've worked with players and, you know, felt the atmosphere. There's an atmosphere here of, you know, we're going to get paid no matter what happens.
We don't need to win. I got my money.
Yeah, we're talking about last place, like 2026 season. We're talking about last place getting $120,000 for being the last placed position.
Yeah, meaning he could shoot whatever he wants, and still get $100,000. And
you're already being paid to be there on top of that. You know, the prize fund for LIV events was higher than any tournament in professional golf, including the majors. You know, we're talking about, what was it, 25 million guaranteed, or it was up to 30 this year, I think. I'll check those figures in a minute, but I'm pretty sure that was it. So, you know, you have massive amounts of cash available for every single event. Players paid massive amounts of money to already be there. And I think you got the buy-in of players like Rahm, DeChambeau, definitely. He felt like he was all in. But, like, realistically, apart from that, I never particularly got the impression that Brooks or Dustin Johnson, for example, particularly were bothered about what this was. It's just
an easy way to get paid.
They just got paid a lot of money to play less golf and thought, you know what?
That's literally what Dustin Johnson said, wasn't it? He was like, I want to play less golf, and this allows me to do that. You're like, right. So you're not doing it for competitive edge. Everything you ever hear about the events, though, like the start of the events, it would always be just like, it was so, like, the players were just so relaxed. There's like zero competitive edge going on around. It was just like sort of turning up, like, sort of feeling a bit awkward. Just never seemed like an elite sporting event.
From a fan's perspective, I kind of try to play both sides here, I suppose. I did get anyone who went to a LIV event actually did report back on how much they enjoyed it. Like, it was different. It was a lot more fan focused. Obviously, ticket prices, heavily subsidized, were cheaper than pretty much any other pro event. And the way that they kind of organized the event to be a lot more kind of spectator focused did seem to go down really, really well. But I think you're right. I mean, the buy-in from the players and the drive to maintain their level of performance would just seem to lack. I think at the end of the tournaments, when there were a few people kind of like dueling it out for the title, the competitive edge was still there. That you did see that there was passion and kind of interest. But I don't think, even if the fan experience was really good, I'm going to say that not many people cared if the Crushers came through and won a week.
Yeah. The thing was the fan experience kind of thing. I was just think that they're trying to, like, with stuff like that, like, ultimately golf is golf, and the reason why you're there is to see good golf. Like, you add all that other stuff, it kind of like it's fluff. They're trying to just make it better in some ways, rather than making the golf better and the event better. They're doing all these different things to try and make you forget that the thing's not actually as good as it should be. And it's just a bit like, right, okay. And my other issue with all the other stuff is, it's like with T20 cricket and like the 100 and stuff. It's like, if you need all that to enjoy the golf, you don't like golf.
Just Test cricket only.
Purist.
I'd say,
if you need it all, you don't like golf. You have to be able to enjoy a good event without all that in order to legitimately say that you actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I can see both sides of it. I would say that there were certain things happening at LIV events. Obviously the walk-on music, stuff like that. The concerts at events. Is that kind of really necessary? Probably not. But I think it did show that you can do something different, like with a bit more of a fan experience, if you want to look at it like that. And bear in mind, they were trying to do LIV as a team-based sport. Yeah. So they were trying to change a little bit about how you probably perceived the golf event when you went. Yeah. And I think there was some good there. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, I'm relatively invested in the professional golf game. I like watching pro golf, not so much in person, but I like watching it on TV and all the rest of it. I think I might have watched maybe combined maximum an hour of footage in the last 4 years.
Was it the Anthony Kim one?
It was Anthony Kim. I think it was when Bryson shot his 58.
Yeah.
I watched kind of the highlights of that because obviously that's cool. Whenever that happens. Apart from that, yeah, I wasn't there.
Whoa, that was a weird sound effect.
It was very odd.
How did we get here?
And we're back here. They were in the middle of their conversation.
Yeah, what a wonderful anecdote / story / joke they were telling right there.
It was good. How enjoyable.
I was enjoying it. But I did want to just take a little bit of time away from the podcast to say thanks to our other podcast sponsor in Golf Care. Now, Mick, I want to run you through a little scenario, okay? And I want you to tell me how devastated you would feel.
Very devastated.
Yeah, I'm sure you would be. Let's run back to Saturday. You've just walked off the golf course. You've shot the best round of your life. Birdies are flying in. Every club has behaved itself, okay? So you go to your car, you put your clubs back in the boot, and you lock the car and head back inside for a well-earned post-round pint.
Yeah. Well, a pint, I'm having Diet Coke.
You're having Diet Coke.
Ice, lots of ice.
You're driving, obviously.
I am. Sometimes I go orange juice and lemonade.
But I'm going to ruin your day. You head back out, you go to your car, and your clubs have been stolen out the back of your car. How would you feel in that situation?
And I drink really quickly.
You do drink really quickly.
I would be heartbroken.
Yeah. Especially if you've gone a whole round and everything's been performing perfectly.
Yeah, the middle of them would all be like, would there be like a nice wear mark?
Yeah, exactly. How do you get those? You can't get those wear marks back. Well, I want to put you around at ease. Because with Golf Care, they provide a coverage, what they like to call new for old cover. Okay? So if your clubs are stolen or damaged beyond repair, and they will be able to provide you a brand new equivalent if your clubs were under 3 years or under, basically.
So if they're less than 3 years old?
Yes, exactly.
Which most of mine are.
Yeah. So you'll be falling perfectly into the bracket. All you need is to be able to provide proof of purchase. So if that's something from a bank statement or a receipt or valuation, whatever it might be, they'll be able to provide a brand new equivalent of that club that's been lost or stolen. Wow. Even better than that.
There's nothing better than
There is better than that. I can go even further. For just a small fee, less than £10,
Right.
you can upgrade to their new for old cover for life. And what that does is not only cover you for the 3 years and under, if your club's 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old,
Wow.
you are covered. If it's stolen or damaged, Golf Care will replace them with a brand new set of the latest model. But also remember, you do have to provide that proof of purchase.
Correct.
So, to make sure that you're not scouring for a replacement, or you can walk straight into the pro shop and pick up that latest model to replace the ones that have lost or been stolen, Golf Care are running an exclusive offer for the Rough Cut podcast audience. Not only are they offering all new customers with 30% off specialist golf insurance, starting from around £28.05 per person
Entirely
for the
reasonable.
year, they're also throwing in 6 free Titleist Pro V1s
I can
worth
lose-
up to £25.
I can lose those.
3 Wilson balls,
Ooh,
you can
yeah,
lose them as well.
I can definitely lose those.
And also 3 free rounds of golf worth up to £340
I could use those.
at selected courses in the UK.
Nice.
So it's great to know that you can get all of those goodies thanks to the exclusive offer that Golf Care are providing to you guys listening now, and be protected on the golf course with their coverage. So just go to www.golfcare.co.uk/roughcut and to get this exclusive deal, or just go into the description and click the link below. And as always, terms and conditions apply. Once again, thank you, Golf Care, for sponsoring this podcast.
Yep.
I'm sure the guys have got a lovely joke / anecdote / something to tell us
Do
right now.
the thing with your hand, and I'll make it go
Do you
across in
go
the
that
edit. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, they definitely tried to do something different from a fan perspective. Obviously, you know, going to a golf tournament is very different, and it is, you know, you're walking around. You have to be sort of, you know, it's good fun, but you're pretty sort of within yourself. Like, you know, the thing about LIV was that you could go to a golf course and be a bit expressive. It was quite, you know, when I went to the JCB in 2023 or 2023, yeah, pardon me, 2023. It was just it was a weird experience because I'd been to 5 or 6 golf tournaments before, and I knew how they worked, and like going to this one was very different. And I actually, in the end of it, really enjoyed it. I thought it was I thought I was going to really dislike it, and when I got there, I was like, you know, this is
Presumably just like more relaxed and more.
it's just more like the you know, the players talked, you know, that were really talking to the crowd, and you know, on tees and stuff like that I saw.
Telling to shut up.
We had a wee, you know.
Hi, how's your day?
You know, like it's so.
Did you just say you had a wee?
We had a wee in the hedge with Louis Oosthuizen's caddy. You know, like just chatting.
Sounds like pro golf.
I just want to say I don't think that's part of your ticket.
No, it's not.
admission.
Part of the fan experience.
It's not normally part of
If
it,
you're
but-
expected to go to any LIV events for the rest of this year and pee
Yeah.
with the players and the caddies,
Yeah.
it's not.
That's what people are always saying at PGA Tour events. We need more weeing in bushes.
I
in
wish
the...
I could just have a wee with Justin Thomas right now.
Yeah,
That
we
is,
were just chatting to him and saying how he's getting on and stuff like that. So it's the more relaxed version of it. And
I really don't know if that's the
hang on,
promo.
we've got off on a different tangent here. You would talk to someone while they were having a wee. Because no.
yeah.
No, it's the
That's what LIV stands for.
You
Speaking
go-
to people while
if
they're
you
while
go
they're
if you
doing
go
the
for
toilet.
a wee, if you go for a wee in a toilet, it is eyes forward. You are focusing on what you're doing. You do your business. You wash your hands and you leave. Like you don't talk to someone while they're relieving themselves in a bush.
It's just he was pretty like he was all right. He was chatty and stuff like that. But
You weren't
Yeah.
facing each other.
no, we weren't facing
Right,
each
okay.
other.
They're having a sword fight.
Like 6 of the mates, and we were all round him, and we were all like in a line and stuff like that.
In a circle.
Anyway,
All right,
Weeing into the middle.
we're getting up on tangents.
Let's just move
What
on.
I'm,
from
what I'm
this
saying
bit.
is that, like, you know, that as a fan experience, I think it has got it right, and I think it had it right, and I think that, you know, with things like just comparing it to what you said just earlier about the ticket prices, you know, the ticket prices were a 30 quid for a day, you know.
I think probably my perspective, you can kind of say if I'm wrong or right on this. I would say from an in-person tournament perspective, broadly speaking, it was positive.
Yeah.
From a overarching international perspective of watching it, it's completely failed.
And also what it did for the game overall, like in terms of fracturing everything and making it toxic. And
Yeah. Well, I mean the cracks with LIV, it for me it started when they couldn't secure world ranking points for the 54-hole format.
Yeah.
That for me was the start of the end, because then they changed to 72 holes.
And then they obviously were never going to do that initially because they wouldn't have called it LIV otherwise.
Yeah, because LIV Roman numerals 54. It's literally the founding basis of what their events were going to be. So to change that was a weird move, but it was to try and placate, I think, the players. You know, you play on LIV, you're going to get paid lots of money, and you can still get your world ranking points to get in the majors. That's what it was all about. But then you had Bryson, obviously trying to negotiate a $500 million deal, if the reports are to be believed. Then you had players like Brooks leave, find a way back onto the PGA Tour. You had Patrick Reed leave, won on DP World Tour in consecutive weeks, secured his PGA Tour card back through that route. And then PGA Tour, who, you know, fair play, prime vulture move, you know, hovering over the dying carcass of this tour, smelt a bit of blood in the air and said, okay, we're going to come out with a player returning member program, which is very specifically designed to cherry pick 4 or 5 players who we really want back and exclude the players that we don't. Yeah. Which it wasn't very masked. It was pretty blatant what they were doing, but they saw their opportunity. And that's really where the cracks began, and I think where the tour was ultimately going, and you could just get the vibe that things weren't right. I would say that with the PGA Tour and with LIV, you know, this is the big versus, really, if you want to look at it like that. I would say that the actual players on both sides have incredibly benefited from what has happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they've benefited in a massive way, but like what the PGA Tour has done in a lot of senses has been bad too. In response to all this, like everyone's done bad things because of this.
So, and again,
so annoying.
To put this in perspective, just in case it is kind of slipped under your radar, which I'm sure it hasn't. Obviously, LIV paid a lot of money to star players to come play in the tour. Huge prize money every week, no cut. PGA Tour are saying, well, how can we actually challenge this? We're trying to get players to stay here, and their opening gambit when this all began was, well, we have the history, we have the heritage, we have events that these players want to compete in and they want to win in and they want to play against the very best players in the world. But then some of those players turned around and said, well, actually, Jay, who was still the commissioner at the time, we wouldn't mind playing for some more money, if we're being honest with you. And if we don't get that, then boy, oh boy, LIV is starting to look a little bit more inviting. Yeah. So all of a sudden, what you see? You see higher funding.
No-cut events.
You see higher prize pools. It's not something which is a secret. You know, LIV were going to take a lot of players. PGA Tour suddenly found a bit more cash in the back pocket.
Well, they had to go from being a charitable, non-profit organisation to becoming a for-profit organisation, which has then essentially just kills a lot of what they were meant to be about as well.
Yeah, maybe.
It's supposed to be about reinvesting in the game of golf and all that, and now it's just got to have this massive for-profit arm to it because of all this.
I would say the charitable arm of the PGA.
I'm not saying it worked well, but I'm saying at least there was
for tax purposes.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm not saying it worked that well, but at least there was an illusion. Now it can just explode into whatever it wants and start to just make money in every different way it wants to.
I think you can't blame them in a sense of when it first came about, and the fact that LIV Golf were offering these purses of 25 million, as a golfer, and as the PGA Tour had to act because, like you say, because they probably would come to them. So I don't blame them for acting quickly about that, because it was quite a quick turnaround of from a purse perspective. They were like, right, let's just do it. Let's just offer what they can, and you can see why they did it. But and it's just the norm now. You know, it should
They
normally
definitely
end.
had to
Yeah.
act. Like there's not,
Yeah.
there was no right answer because ultimately they're fighting against what we said. They're fighting against a tour that doesn't mind losing hundreds of millions of dollars. So what could they have done?
We'll probably see now, especially because like the PGA has had to change the way they operate. We might see like what their profits are, what their losses are at the end of the year. So we might get an indication of how this change will affect the PGA Tour, because they have secured investment, they have secured funding. But we know from like the viewing figures, we know from what happens on a week-to-week basis with the PGA Tour. Apart from a few of the signature events and apart from the majors, fewer people are watching golf now.
You'd like to think that the reintroduction of all the other good players would help boost that, but there is definitely hundreds of things that they could be doing, which, to be fair, take from some of the things LIV have done that they could be doing to expand. The definitely removing the America-centric nature of PGA Tour golf has got to be number one for me.
Well, the way that because obviously Greg Norman, when he was the well, it wasn't CEO, was he? He was just the head person of LIV.
You sure he wasn't CEO?
Was he CEO?
Yeah, I think so. Because that Scott O'Neill replaced him.
Yeah, that's CEO. Yeah, okay.
I think so.
So when Greg Norman came in, he was bullish with some of his comments about what LIV was going to do and what it meant, what it represented. And you know what? I actually credit Greg Norman with being... LIV for him was almost everything that he wanted and he envisaged when he was a player. So he was one of the very early architects of this professional golf movement, if you want to think about it like that, who were demanding that there is a world tour, that there is a golf tour that travels all around the world, bringing the game of golf to as many countries as possible. Now, the PGA Tour is obviously very focused in the States. You know, we've got a couple of, well, we've got the Scottish Open, and that's realistically the only event.
Mexican one, isn't there? Is there a Mexican?
There used to be, not anymore. And I kind of get, you know, if we're talking just purely from a business point of view, you know, the amount of money in golf in the States is higher than anywhere else in the world. They can secure sponsorships and they get good fan turnouts. I get it, I do understand, but I think what LIV did, especially showing in like South Africa and Australia and in the UK as well, you know, there is a real appetite of people
There's
to
countries
watch
crying
this
out
stuff.
for it. Like there's countries that are crying out for a good fielded tournament.
And it's really not beyond the realms of possibility that they can't organise things like this.
There's just no part of me that thinks that you know, co-sanctioning the Australian Open, for example, wouldn't bring them more money and more investment than some random Houston Children's Texas Open course where no one wants to go.
Yeah,
they go to Japan as well, don't they?
The Zozo.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's something definitely out there. But this is a role that the European Tour might now fill as well, or the DP World Tour, which we will probably get onto this at another podcast, but I think you could see a bit of a move by PIF to get more involved with them now. But we will see.
Players on there, back on there again.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the players is something that we do need to kind of talk about. I think the Masters was an interesting point because I think it represented a chance for LIV, again, to show at a major event that their players are still relevant. They are still, you know, the best, because that's the kind of what LIV were trying to do. They were trying to sign the best players to compete week by week. And realistically, Bryson had a shocker. Rahm managed to kind of get through on the cut, but he was expected to really challenge. You know, you had returning champs, so Dustin Johnson, for example, you know, managed to...
Sergio Garcia.
Very angry.
Sergio just had an absolute literal meltdown. And it felt like...
Well, there was rumours that they knew something, and that was why.
You know what it felt like? It felt like an opportunity to belittle the players on LIV. It felt like a way to say, really? You're really not that good, are you? You know, it was not an open goal because, you know, there were players that week who performed much worse than the LIV players who missed the cut. But it did seem a way to say, well, they're obviously kind of not as good as they used to be. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think the Masters was another little nail going into the top of the coffin. Certainly from a probably PIF standpoint, looking at that and saying, well, this investment again, it's not paying off.
Yeah.
Would you say that the players who've moved to LIV have got worse across the board than they were before? Like in terms of quality, like each individual across the board, has their quality reduced?
I would say the top players, no. We are talking like we just mentioned Bryson DeChambeau there. Literally won a major last year.
Yeah,
But he won a major last year. But is he? Am I right in saying he's the only LIV player to win a major?
No, Brooks.
Brooks.
23, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I would say that the top players, I think, have remained really good. And there are a few different, like Tyrrell, for example, always seems to compete.
Yeah.
But I would say across the general fields in LIV, I would say that the quality, the determination, it has dipped. And you get...
Look at Dustin Johnson is the best example of it all, I think. Like, winning in 2020 Masters, world number one, like one of the best players, at the time of going in the world, and now look at him, like he's just
that speaks to the determination thing. He obviously didn't want to play much, and when he gets guaranteed the money, he's like, I don't need to.
I think that's the thing. I think if there's a determination and a goal to still achieve something in professional golf, like look what happened to Reed when he left. He was like, okay, I'm going to go play in DP World Tour. I'm going to try and play in as many events as possible, try and win as many as possible, so I can get back to PJ Tour.
It lights a fire,
and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Well, Bert Wiesberger has just come back as well.
Yeah,
he's won in China as well. So, it's not like these players lose their ability, but
they just get too comfortable
and might lose a little bit of that fire to keep on going. But for me, it's a sweeping statement, but it does seem to be what has happened.
People. I mean, I might be wrong in this, but people say that Jon Rahm's kept his level, but I feel like he's got worse since he moved over there.
I would say that he is. I would say he's kept his level. I think he is a top class player.
Should he not have won a major again since the last one?
But the problem is that what we are. That I think this is the crux of it. Is you have the money that these players have gone to LIV for, and they've gone to LIV because they are the best players that they could get, and you have this thing every year. You realistically only have 4 opportunities to judge those players against the other best ones in the world. And to win a major, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So I would say it's almost unfair to say, okay, Jon Rahm, prove it, go win a major. It's hard to do. But you would say that the Masters, I think, it kind of showed that there was a difference.
But let's not forget, going into that, we were, like, Bryson and Rahm were definitely in the top 3 of favourites. So their level is there, and definitely for those two, Tyrrell as well. I think they're the 3 that that are screaming out to me that actually do genuinely still have the
It's just like when you look at that, like I would always have traditionally put Rory and Scotty and Jon Rahm as like the 3. It's just I just when I look at a field for a major now, I think Rory's going to be up there, Scotty's going to be up there. I just don't think that about Jon Rahm anymore.
No, I still think. Well, I picked him on my major picks this year. Best shape up. And we're talking about that. So we've got a list here of individual signing fees for these players, and we're going to identify these players because we want to know, and we can speak about some others as well, about what they're going to do now, and what the PGA Tour and DP World Tour, what might be their responses. So, first of all, is more than $3 billion have been paid in tournament winning salaries and bonuses since 2022. Now, some of the standouts here, we have most of these contracts are what have been reported, and everything that we've got down here is at the lower end of the estimate. Now, some of these estimates could be literally $50 to $100 million more, which is kind of wild. First of all, Phil Mickelson. So he got paid $200 million reported, but that could have been upwards of $250.
That was definitely you're going to be the first one here, so you're going to take the brunt of this, so you're going to have to be paid for it.
So he is straight in the door, $200 million. Now he's been having some issues kind of off the course this year, and what his return to professional golf would be like, we just simply don't know if he returned.
I think he'd really struggle to get back on the PGA Tour.
I honestly don't think the PGA Tour don't want him.
No, I think he's done that.
Players, from what I understand, don't really want him back. So I imagine if he was going to do something, he'd maybe do more Legends Tour type of thing.
Yeah.
But
He probably just end up playing majors, I guess, and just fading
yeah,
into his.
'cause realistically, like, because he's not, he's not a young pro anymore.
No, yeah.
You know,
He could just pack it all
He
in.
could just stop. John Rahm. This is somewhere 300 million to 400 million. He got paid over 5 years, but he only signed at the end of 2023. So we will see.
He might not get a lot of that. He might not see much of that at all, really.
So we will see kind of where this goes. It obviously depends what the structure of the contract was, but he got that for signing, and he has won a lot on LIV as well, as far as his position.
And his top 10 finishes. And
We don't need to worry about him financially.
Oh, yeah. No,
He's going to be okay.
In terms of like him going back to the other tours, though, he's obviously in a quite bitter battle with the DP World Tour at the minute. So he's not taking any of this lying down, which means he's not going to be groveling at anyone's feet anytime soon. I wouldn't have thought.
Honestly, I think with Rahm is a big enough name, big enough player, and with a big enough pull that he could now, if this is all over, he can go to PJ Tour, he can go to DP World Tour, and just say, let's figure this out, let's get this done, and I reckon they'll wrap it up. I reckon they'll wrap it up.
There'll be
quick.
some. I mean, this is the only thing. One player that we're going to get onto, obviously, with Brooks. Brooks obviously left LIV this year and has gone to the PJ Tour. The sanctions that was put on him is upwards of 90 to 80 to 90 million. And the PJ Tour said that if these other people that they've obviously tried to poach, if they don't come in this period, there will probably be a something coming on again for a sign on, for a return program. But it will be, I think they will be sanctioned way more than what.
Brooks was like a sort of. It was a reward for doing it when it wasn't forced on him.
Yeah.
So he was like, "You're choosing to do this, therefore we'll recognise that fact."
It was 8 to 9 million.
Sorry,
8 to 9 million.
Brooks.
Yeah.
80 to 90.
Does that mean like lost earnings from not being in signature events and all that sort
so
of
like
thing?
from loss of what is it? Charitable donation you had to make of 5 million. Not having access to that player impact program and stuff like that.
It's not necessarily like a fine, or just like a restriction.
I think for me, the losses that Brooks has are based on the best case scenario of performing in the biggest events. It's not like if
he wins every signature, he would get this, and he's not allowed in them.
I think he got off incredibly light.
I think he did, but the better he plays, the more money he's going to lose, essentially.
But he'll also be winning the money while he does it. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends which way. Glass half full, glass half empty.
It's one of those. They've, it's if he does win, because he's very close to getting on the, on the rota for these signature events. Getting, if he can secure himself some, top 10s or top 5s or even wins, like. That benefit,
he was in a signature event the other day, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. Wasn't he in one Players,
of them? No. Well, he was allowed. He was allowed in the Players because of his previous major wins. He wasn't. He was the first alternative for RBC Heritage.
I would say, as far as I'm aware and understand, that the punishment for Brooks is the charitable donation, and he could enter the events. He's good enough to probably get back in the signature events as well.
Yeah.
Once he's back in there, he'll obviously just win all his prize money and all that. But there's certain things like the player impact program, the fund that the players get entered into. Yes. He's going to miss out on those. Yeah. So essentially, he's just going to be more of an old-fashioned pro golfer, just winning his money.
Yes.
And he'll probably do it really well because he can play golf.
Yeah. Oh, and he got about 100 million to 150 million for signing for LIV. So. He's okay.
Yeah. Oh no, we don't have to worry. But he was, I even though I'm a big fan of him, I do take me out of to him because obviously like him doing it and it's always the thing going first in anything where there's going to be controversy and there's going to be people that were are obviously going to have a big opinion about it, and he's done it, and he's taken all of these, and now he's on it. So
it is. I often find it's always the harder to be the first to jump off the ship as it sinks.
Yeah,
I always think that's the hardest. He shot down that lifeboat.
He said, "Get out of the way, women and children.
Get out of the way." The violin started up. He barged out.
He took his suitcase with 100 million in it. He was like, "Get that on the lifeboat."
Jumped on, and then as the lifeboat sailed away, wiped a tear from his eye. I thought, what am I going to do next?
I'm not allowed in the signature events.
Yeah, what am I going to do next?
Got to pay a $5 million charitable donation.
God, Brooks,
which he should be doing anyway because he's got millions and hundreds of millions of pounds.
What a hero. He was, though, one thing he did do, he really kickstarted all of this. Like that's when we knew. That's what
I mean by it.
Yeah, because he left with a year to go on his deal as well. So he obviously knew something was up. So he's back. Bryson is, again, along with John Rahm, the biggest name. Now, Bryson has, to this point, he's one of the most popular golfers on the planet right now.
He's benefited most from this whole thing. Of everyone, I reckon.
He will be more than capable of, again, going to the tour and organising some kind of deal.
I've seen rumours about him just playing majors and doing his YouTube on the side, though.
I mean,
he could do that.
He has the capability. He has the capability of doing that. I imagine he will, in some form, be back on the PGA Tour. I can't see it any other way. And if you're a PGA Tour executive, you'll be looking at it, and you'll be looking at the numbers and saying, you know what, we are a better product for people to want to watch and to invest in if Bryson is a part of this. Yeah. So they will figure it out. I'm no doubt about that. Players like Tyrrell are interesting, because I think Tyrrell might go of a kind of more of a Patrick Reed route. So DP World Tour plays way back onto the PGA Tour that way, because he's still a world-class player. And there are a number of others like that.
Bucky Neiman.
Is that getting into the territory of people that like the PGA Tour could maybe take or leave? So it's a bit more of a difficult conversation for them guys.
But you have players like Laurie Cantor, for example. He was one of the 10 DP World Tour players last year to secure their card through that elevation program they have, whatever they call it. Decided to give that up to join LIV again this year.
Yeah. That was
wow.
That was just,
what a decision.
So I don't really know kind of where that would leave him. Obviously, our good friend Dan Brown benefited from that.
Yeah.
Shout out Dan Brown.
So, there are certain players. Moronk we've already mentioned. Neiman's a huge one. Yeah. Like, what's going to happen there?
Those are for me are the players that are in this.
They're the ones who should be worried.
They're in a crack where they Tyrrell is a top. He really is, I think, a top 10 player in the world. And he is, it'd be interesting to see where he's playing golf next year. Like, I think he can, I think that he should be on the PGA Tour, basically. I don't think he should be on the DP World Tour.
He
should be on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he is like I said, he's a top ranking player.
He's a top ranking player, and he should,
So,
and then you got the old guard.
Yeah, I mean, there are players who you would expect now having a real conversation about, Legends Tour or just stopping. You have Westwood, you have Poulter, you have Mickelson. You have golfers who, realistically, they're not going to be able to compete back on the PGA Tour. So where are they going to go? You have certain players, the big standout story like Anthony Kim this year. Like what's going to happen to him? LIV, of all the bad things that you could say about LIV gave him a lifeline, a literal lifeline back in to the sport, that we all know him for. And talk about players who've benefited the most from LIV. He has to be one of them. So what happens to him now? Because he's not got his standing on any tours. Like, is he going to go back through qualifying school? Is he going to try and get sponsored invites? What's going to happen? Sergio, we don't know. Maybe the one bright spark, maybe the one little flicker here for those players is the fact that if they can get back a DP Tour World membership, for example, maybe we're talking about potentially being Ryder Cup captains again. Being back in the fold. that might be just a little bit of a spark, something to pique the interest of a European golf fan. Anyway,
I think if you're getting sort of Ian Poulter and Garcias and your Westwoods back on the DP World Tour, like, I think that'll bring a lot to the DP World Tour as well. Like, you know, as from a legend standpoint, you know.
The DP World Tour would be foolish to not get in the ear of a lot of these players right now and say, guys, when this wraps up, we have got our own player returning program. This is what it is.
It's everyone can come if they want.
This is
for free.
And what it is, oh my word, please come play.
Yeah.
And let's get this thing going again.
Yeah.
You know, let's actually be a rival to the PJ Tour for a change rather than just like shipping off our best talent. Yeah. Let's do something about this. Yeah. You know, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, let us know. Yeah, let us know the players who like we've probably forgotten there.
Yeah.
I mean, like Harold Varner.
Yeah.
Harold Varner,
Varner, yeah.
Charles Howell III. A lot of thirds out there.
Yeah.
You know, Charles Howell III was literally a stalwart of the PGA Tour for a couple of decades. Like, hardly ever missed a cut, was always there, never won. He was just there.
Abraham Answer.
Great player.
Yeah.
Great set of hands on him, that young man. Burmester.
Yeah.
You've got the greatest iron player of a generation in Taylor Gooch.
Yeah.
Brandon
Just
Grace.
sat there. Brandon Grace is another one. Like
Louis
you can imagine him, maybe DP World, bit of legend. Louis Oosthuizen probably the same.
Yeah.
Richard Bland. Blandy. Oh man, talk about players who've benefited. For me, he's actually one of those golfers who, when all the controversy was kicking off, he was one where I was like, you know what? Fair play. You have just hit gold right at the perfect moment.
Yeah.
You've got this emotional story. You've just won that tour event after 500 starts or whatever it was. Everyone's in tears. You're playing the best golf of your life as you've reached an age where you might have been considering packing it in. And what's this? I'm going to be offered millions of dollars to play 54 holes for about 10 weeks of the year. All right?
Yeah.
And he's done all right as well. He's done all right.
Yeah,
Like, as far as the what's his team?
I don't know.
What's his team?
He's in the
Cliques.
Yeah,
He's in the Cliques.
So Martin Keimer.
Yeah. So star
Yeah.
clique play.
You know what I'm looking forward to
one
most? I'm looking forward to them not having to wear those silly uniforms anymore at the majors.
But the Oklahoma team or whatever
They can wear their nice clothes again
That's true. Yeah.
instead of watching Sergio Garcia wearing red and yellow.
Oh yeah, the Fireballs. The Fireballs outfits were rough.
Yeah.
Ballister, like literally one of the young guys who signed.
Yeah.
For LIV. Matt Wolf. There's so many players who you forget are there.
Michael Osaso.
Yeah.
Michael Lasasso.
Yeah.
The hell?
And he signed about 2 weeks ago.
I think that's what
He's going to be spinning more than his hips right now.
I think that's what LIV could definitely become. Is, you know, like if it's just going to be packed in, or if it, you know, we don't know what's going to happen to it in the next coming weeks, coming months. But I think an opportunity for it could be something like a European version of like a Corn Ferry Tour or something like that, or a World.
It'd have to scale back a lot of the stuff.
Yeah,
it does.
you'd have to scale it back definitely. But like, that's the only thing I can see it being as like a really.
It can't exist in my mind. Realistically, it can't carry on existing because you can't offer a for players. You can't offer the tour, which is a $30 million week, and then say we're scaling this back and we're probably going to have an investment of about $1.5 million.
Yeah. It would literally be a completely unrecognizable product at that point. It's not even in the same realm of what it is right now.
Like that revolving door is not going to stop spinning. As soon as that money dries up, the players are going to be gone, and they'll find somewhere else to play.
They'll probably end up it'll get so bad at the end that like people won't be getting paid and stuff like that. It'll all be all that business, get messy
and you know what? I don't. Can we just pause that? That mic is on, right? Yeah, it's that one. Sorry, there's a that side of it. This side wasn't on. I was like, fucking hell. Please tell me that mic's on.
You can see them there.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry, just fucking panic then for a second. So what was he saying there? Balance quakes. What it's going to become. You can't offer that. Revolving door's going to be spinning. Then it's gone.
That's where he stopped.
That's where he
Pretty
stopped.
much, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's gone. I think it's going to be gone. With so we've kind of done this. We covered most of this. Cam Smith, we've not spoke about.
Yeah.
Great example of someone that just gets forgotten
Yeah.
about.
Well, another like a player there who we used to speak about a lot. Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Like one of the realistically when he left,
He was at
just
peak of his
after winning
powers.
the Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just won the.
Just when he won the
When's
Open.
the Open? Oh my God, Cam
Yeah.
Smith! Oh no, he's gone.
Well, we
We found out that he knew about it, didn't he?
Well,
We-
I remember talking about some. I remember talking to a few people. Won't say just before the final round.
Yeah.
And Cam Smith was slated to go to LIV.
Yeah.
Everyone knew he was slated to go to LIV, but he'd not signed anything. Because what he was waiting for is to, if he could win,
Exemptions.
like he would then be sorted for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But also, as soon as he wins, it's another 20 million added to his contract.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
And he again has done amazingly well out of this, but he is probably the one player who has had the biggest drop off.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause he was, like Sam said, at the height of his powers when he went, and apart from the Australian PGA, I think last year, like we've not really seen anything of him. Even live events, I've not seen him.
No, yeah, because he's still getting through he's still being invited to all the majors because of obviously his Open win, and you can see that from where he's finishing. I mean, Masters he's finished like +10.
Yeah.
Like it's just his drop off is crazy, and he was literally one of the best putters in the world at the time when he went. So that up and down on 17.
Some of those quotes
Always
there.
remember that.
Yeah, there are a few. I mean, the response to this from Live players has been understandably muted because they probably don't understand what is
I
happening.
haven't heard a great deal from anyone.
I mean, because
Yeah.
they're like they must be in the same position of what are we going to do? Like, what's
Yeah.
going to happen? I think Bryson came out, maybe said something about still believing in the team format, but that's it. Now, some PJ players they've been a little bit more forthcoming.
I mean, these are probably questions getting asked in like
course,
the
yeah,
press conferences. So it's hard to avoid. Like if someone says, "What do you think about?" They're going to be like, "Oh, okay."
And they will be continued to ask, and they will be continued to be asked because at this point, are we realistically thinking that LIV is going to finish its 2026 season? Are we actually going to say they're going to make it through to the end, or are they going to try and cut their losses? Because every event that they put on, there's more money.
Yeah, I suppose.
And if they've already
Yeah.
decided to get out,
Yeah,
and
that's
they've
true.
and they've already cut one of them. It's a bit like in a disaster film, like an apocalypse scenario, where as soon as it's like announced, the whole thing just starts to go on fire. It's like they try and temper people, and they can't keep everyone calm, and then it's like, oh no, actually, it's the world's ending, and everyone goes and just the whole thing just goes on fire. So that could happen. for
Scott
sure.
O'Neill just stood in the middle of burning fairway somewhere. To where someone
Someone
got-
mock that up. Someone mock that up.
I think, we've had some quotes with PJ Tour players. So Lucas Glover, who's incoming to the PJ Tour Player Advisory Council chair, said, "I will never begrudge anyone for making a decision for the betterment of their career. But do I think they should abide by the pathways back and pay the same penalties? Absolutely." Brian Harmon says, "I think there should be something that would help with some of the bad blood and some of the resentment." Jordan Spieth simply said, "I'm kind of glad I'm not in that room." I would say that overall, the feeling from a lot of the players that I've seen, PJ Tour players, DP World Tour players, has been they can come back. We would welcome them back. Overall, if they come and play on these tours, it is going to be a stronger field. People are going to be more invested. It's going to be better. But
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
you have to bring some of that cake back.
Yeah.
Some of those muffins that you've been baking, you need to contribute a few of them. Open that pack, get out the blueberries, leave them at the door, and we'll decide what we do with them.
Because Jordan's hungry.
Yeah. Well, you can't. You're not going to be able to come back for free, which I think is fair.
That's totally fair.
I think it's
you
fair.
can't take all the money and then go, I want to come back now.
But it's also the bad blood, which was really prevalent when this all began. The way that a few players left, most of the players who left with really bad terms are not going to be going on to PGA Tour anyway.
Yeah.
We've already mentioned a few of them, but the idea that has all been forgotten and forgiven, I think, would come up pretty quickly. And it's a sad fact that it's probably not going to be as big of a thing with the bigger names, like your Brysons and your Rahms. They're going to be welcome back.
It'd be interesting to see what Rory says about all this, because obviously Rory was the spokesman for everyone about the live stuff, and was very vocal of how much he hated it and stuff like that. So I'd be very interested to hear what his plan of it, and I imagine he might have some, just like how Brooks got in. Tiger is at the forefront of kind of probably deciding that as well. I don't know whether he is now, but be interested to see who's gonna decide what their sanctions are.
I honestly think with this, I don't think Rory's going to get really involved.
Yeah,
I think he got burnt really badly.
Yeah, Rory got put in harm's way by the PGA Tour.
He was sacrificial lamb, really.
Yeah.
Our PGA Tour used him as a spokesperson and then kind of turned around and just left him out to.
Well, he was out there in press conferences saying how bad the whole thing was, and then the PGA Tour were doing deals with LIV in the background.
Yeah, and the merge. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like I said before, everyone comes off bad after this whole thing.
Yeah.
There's just so much like nefarious dealings.
It's been a weird few years.
Yeah.
It's been a wild few years.
Some feathers and
It's a lot of true colours being shown, unfortunately, which is.
Yeah. But anyway, we will see how this progresses. Again, let us know in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to us on your favourite podcast provider, make sure you give us a follow on social, and maybe just give us a 5-star review as well. Always helps. We're like basically your favourite takeaway on Just Eat. Other fast food distribution services are available.
Or the better ones as well.
Really?
Yeah, I've never used Just Eat.
Oh, no,
it always seems a bit grimy.
No, that's the Just Eat. You get like the better, more normal takeaways. Deliveroo is just too corporate.
I used to be a delivery rider. Did you know that? For a bit.
Really?
Back when it was first in its infancy and it wasn't like a career. I was doing it at uni.
Is it a career?
It seems to be these days. There seems to be people that are quite into
make
it.
some.
I did it at uni for a bit. It was
You did a lot of stuff
made
at
some
uni.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Did a lot of stuff to make money. Anyway, right.
Excuse me. Sorry. What? Not that.
We're gonna close up. We've actually got a video which is out. Just coming out.
Should be
with
out.
Ryan Ruffles, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hot topic of YouTube.
Yeah. So we were over in South Carolina and a little bit in North Carolina, playing at the Q at Myrtle Beach, which is a qualifier which has been held each year for the last 3 years to see who would get a sponsor's invite to play in the Myrtle Beach Classic, which is a
Great idea.
Yeah, it's been really popular. It's an event that runs alongside the Truist Championship, I think it is, PGA Tour. So it's an alternate field event. I think Ryan Fox won it last year. And this year was slightly different because the queue was made up of purely YouTubers, content creators. I was one of the 8. The 4 I lost to Grant, spoilers, in the first round. And the 4 that got through were Grant, Ryan, Luke Kwan, and Micah Morris as well. Now, we were all there. If you've not watched the videos yet, prepare yourself. There are going to be spoilers. Ryan Ruffles ended up winning. Grant had it in the palm of his hand, and like a pesky eel, it slipped away into the water. So it was, I think, probably a good sign of how things are progressing within the world of YouTube, trying to give it a little bit more credibility as far as qualifying for an event like this. Ultimately, out of everyone who was playing in that event, George, who lost to Micah, and then probably Ryan, they're the 2 players with tour experience.
Yeah.
Luke has won on PGA Tour China, for example, but I don't think mentally he's bothered about tournament golf, if we're being realistic. Ryan is...
He's the one with the most sauce.
Serious.
Yeah. He is a great player. He's played, I think it was 20 PGA Tour events, I want to say, or he's played quite
There's
a
a
few.
lot, yeah. And that was like when he was really young as well.
Yeah,
he was like
yeah.
17 and he was playing. In the
Like
PGA
he's still
Tour
only
event.
28 now. He's a really, really good polished golfer. So for the player for him to win that and to represent the Q in the event, I think he was not the best choice, because he earned it, he won it. Like he was the choice. So I think that's going to be good. I'm going to be interested to see. I'm going to be interested to watch. I just really hope. First of all, we can get a good view on it, because back home Sky will probably be covering more of the Truist.
Yeah.
And also the producers actually decide to show it. Because when YouTubers and social media people have played in these events before, they're just like weirdly skipped over, weirdly avoided. I remember when the Brian Bros played in the Bermuda, and they were playing together, and I think Wes kind of made a bit of a charge of it at the end, and they almost reluctantly relented to show it.
Same with the DP World Tour event.
Yeah,
Played at Munich, yeah.
It's a weird one, but hopefully so, because it will encourage certainly me to watch a little bit more. The video that we did was and this is a concept, it'd be interesting what people think about this, and we won't spoil the video and tell you all the stats on it, but we played a game where I was given every single putt inside a 12-foot radius from the hole, and Ryan started every single hole 300 yards down the middle of each fairway. The idea was to see what made the biggest difference. Like, what was going to be the deciding factor within that match. And the stats from the world of golf actually really shocked me. And the match was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good comparison.
It was good.
So I recommend you go watch it, but of course I would say that.
It gives you a taste of what Ryan's like before he's in the in the event. That's
Exactly.
At least.
And he has been following his own little social media journey, YouTube journey, and
The lads.
with the lads.
Yeah.
So make sure you go check them out as well.
Yeah.
God, so many golf YouTubers.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Just
He's
lovely
a
chap.
very good guy as well.
Yeah.
just
Lovely chat.
you know what? Problem is though, he's like a really good golfer and a really nice guy, great looking lad. He's just kind of one of those people like.
And if you're a jealous character,
Yeah.
I like to see people succeed.
Yeah, no, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. I'm just disappointed in the hand I was dealt. I can.
Oh no! Pete, I got nothing.
I'm capable of looking in a mirror and like watching my swing on video and compare it to Ryan, my good friend Ryan.
I'm only a pro golfer. I'm rubbish.
It's true. Man. Like my last round, I shot 3 over. Like,
The 3.
It's just not good
I only
enough.
shot 3 over.
It's not good enough. My driving average was only 310.
Do you know what my last round was? 105.
105.
Yeah.
It's just seeing a lot of the course.
Yep.
Just exploring.
Getting your money's worth.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
my prep. That was a free round, to be fair. So.
What was it?
And in Florida.
Was that 105 in the end?
Yeah.
No, because you had the amazing start. Really good. Yeah.
It wasn't amazing, but it was fine.
It was good though. Oh my god, we absolutely crapped ourselves. I'll never forget that 9th hole.
Which one was that?
Oh no, that was Mel. I'm thinking of Mel.
Yeah, South Carolina,
Carolina
yeah.
when you played.
Oh no, sorry, not Florida. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about that one. Yeah. Wait,
Oh,
what happened on the 9th hole?
You were playing really well. You were driving it great, and then you stood up on the 9th or dog leg slightly right to left, and we're thinking, oh, he's on for a really good 9 holes. Here.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't a hook. It just came out straight left at about a 45-degree angle, completely no reason.
How's this?
And it was
Oh yeah.
flying towards a window. It was like a missile. It had been fired from a cruise ship. And I was like, a cruise ship?
Cannon.
Warship.
Warship. Just
Portuguese man of war.
Yeah. Just watch them cruise ships. They might carry a sneaky missile or two. And it just
What cruises are you going on?
do you not go on HMSs when you go on cruising? It just fired out, and it was travelling towards his window. And this one branch,
Hit a tree, yeah.
it grew about 3 meters in a second. It just reached out. I was like,
Saved me.
God.
And then I started to wonder what happens if you live on a golf course, and am I liable for a broken window? Who knows?
I don't think you are. I don't think you are, unless it's shown that you've literally turned around, face a house, and hit a ball.
Yeah.
I think if you're living on a golf course, you are.
There's some sort of insurance they must have. Like,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
must have.
Or it's like it's like living above a pub, innit?
Yeah.
Can't complain about the noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You always get viral videos of like people coming out and shouting at golfers in their garden when a ball like hits the house or goes in the garden.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you live on a golf course. Like this is a hazard that
Not
you're
just
going to have to face.
it's not just your back garden. You don't get to just look at it.
Do you see that video I posted the other day about the dogs?
No.
Oh my god! Check out our Instagram. Although it's going to be gone at this point, but check it out anyway. You'll see. Right. I think we're going to wrap it up because we have some kind of welcome dinner to do, and I need a wee. So
I'll do it.
I'm going to go find Louis Eustachen's caddy in a bush and go have a wee with him, and just talk to him non-stop while he tries to go. Still the weirdest thing.
Stage fright.
Yeah. Do you honestly not mind like just talk to people and having a wee?
Is that right, isn't it?
I don't know.
I can talk to anyone, so it's like it's not.
Yeah, I struggle to talk to people at the best of
I
times.
just talk.
It's better, never mind when I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
right. Okay. So for more toilet humour, stay tuned to the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, guys. Thanks for the chat. Let us know what you think about LIV, and we will see you not down here, but somewhere else in the world next time.
Yeah. Maybe
So long.
back in Manchester, is it?
Probably.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who's to say?
We'll see.
In the new office, maybe.
See.